Hello and welcome. Olga is here, and today we're talking about, do you feel like you need an industrial forklift for your emotional luggage and how to do fast EFT session by yourself, on yourself. So the truth is, guys, I think we all get, and I know it's a little bit dramatic, but I think we all get into this state when it's just like there's so much happening and you feel so many emotions at the same time. They shift kind of really quickly, and it's hard to go through your day, properly. It's hard to be connected to your family. It's difficult to make good decisions in your business. And, honestly, it seems like everything falling through the cracks. And, this is the time when a lot of people going into the thinking that I'm a loser or I'm a failure or I'm not enough or nothing is working for me. So if you ever felt like this before, listen up. This video is for you. So let's dive in. So firstly, I want you to notice that if you are in that state, then pay attention to this. Say, oh, okay, alrighty, I'm feeling all of these emotions just about at the same time, all the guilt, shame, worry, embarrassment coming in, and just say, okay, this is what I feel. So the first step is always awareness, just really noticing it and knowing that, yes, that's where I am. The second step is, kind of like acknowledging the fact that even though that you're feeling it, it's okay not to assign it any meaning. Let me say it again. Even if you are feeling a lot of emotions, a lot of things going on in your life, it's okay not to assign it a meaning, right? Because very often we'll say, oh my gosh, it's just everything is horrible about my life and I just want to start over and I'm depressed. So what if you just say, okay, nothing is good or bad, only thinking makes it so, right? Because even looking in retrospect on something that happened years ago, right now you can probably see that, oh yes, I remember that time in my life, but I've learned something from it and I got out better on the other side. So always start pacing forward, right? When you are there, so it doesn't suck you in too deep. So let's talk about how to tap when all of these are coming in. The first thing that you probably want to do is to start tapping in the moment, right? Because tapping is a great trance breaker. It's a great way to break that trance, to break that feeling, that hypnosis that you're putting yourself in, and also start noticing tiny shifts. Because when you are feeling, really, really not good, it's kind of hard to go from, super sad to super happy. So just do tiny bit incremental changes in how you feeling, in your body, on your mind, and what you're thinking. And just really notice that. So just say, okay, what can I do to feel just a little bit better right now, right? It could be something as simple as stretching your shoulders or breathing deep or relaxing your perineum, or, I like this, what I call a winner pose, right? When you lift your arms up in the air and you stay there for 30 seconds. And of course, tapping. Tapping is really great because it automatically sends all the right signals to all the right parts of your body and start relaxing your system, your energy system, your emotion system. So you can literally just start tapping this. Now, if you are with a person or with somebody, you say, excuse me, I'm going to use the restroom, and just step out. So this is where you begin. Now, let's talk about if you want to sit down and do a session with yourself, by yourself. Before we go there, now I do recommend if you are feeling a lot of things happening, you are going through a transition period, or you are about to cross a major milestone in your life, it's a great idea to hire a practitioner to help you go through some of this. And one of the reasons why is because when you're in a picture, it's kind of hard to see outside the picture, right? Because you are so in it, right? And then so in my experience, working with a practitioner was honestly life-changing, because I said, Olga, listen, it really is not what you think it is. You're assigning it a totally different meaning, and there's a way to see perspective. And so often in a matter of like an hour, I would come out like, oh my gosh, I totally made it up in my own mind. None of that has even happened, but I'm already kind of reliving it. So working with a practitioner is really, really helpful. Now, if you are not ready for that step yet, that's totally fine. So we'll talk about how to do this process on yourself. Very excited, right? And so basically what you want to do is just grab a piece of paper and start writing some of these questions down. So when you sit down to do the session, you have some information to work from. Now, also, if you're a practitioner, either a starting practitioner or somebody who's been practicing, but you just want to clear up some of your, ways of getting to the root causes or the root emotions or the root of the problem, those are great questions to follow. I use them in my own practice. I use them on myself. I use it with clients, and I teach all my clients how to do that too. Alrighty, let me know when you have your paper and pen ready. And let's begin. So there's only 4 questions we're going to focus on right now that will help you kind of diffractionate this whole structure of a lot of stuff going on at the same time. So question number 1 is, how do you know? How do you know that you are, feeling or thinking or experiencing something? So let's say if it's something as simple as lack of money, then how do you know it bothers you? Because very often you don't have anything immediately happening with you unless you are, being evicted or something major like that happened, you file a bankruptcy or something like that, then you really don't have anything happening right now at the moment. You just have a lot of fear, a lot of not enoughness, a lot of lack mentality. So start noticing this, right? So that's your first thing. Now, another part of how do you know is question number 2, which is what emotions, pictures, sensations, or feelings you're experiencing. So we normally go to 4 major ways we represent our reality in our brain, our mind. So the first way is the kinesthetic, right? So it's how do you feel? So I have tightness in my chest. I have pressure in my shoulders. I have butterflies in my stomach. My head's starting to hurt when I think about my finances or my spouse or whatever situation that you're in. The second question is, so the second question, what emotions are there, right? So the third question is, have you ever felt like this before, right? So what kind of memories come up? Maybe your first time or the worst time. So find those 2-3 emotions that are in the state that you are right now and ask yourself, have I felt like that before? When was the first time or the worst time I felt this way? Because those are your roots, right? So those are your ways that you're actually recreating this. And when you can go back and release it, you actually don't have any foundation to continue building, your trauma and trauma on. So go to these memories and start tapping on those. And the last question number 4 is, what would you feel instead? What would you like to feel instead, right? So that's a great question to ask, because this is where you start shifting. This is where the art of change process works so well, right? And art stands for aim, release, transform. The transformation happens when you start from going from what you don't want to what you do want. And then you just start tapping, tap on the sensations, release them, and start changing it to what you do desire, what you want. So let's go over those questions one more time. So the first question is, how do you know, right? So this is where we start collecting emotions, pictures, sensations. So those 2 questions kind of really go together, right? So how do you know, and then what are the emotional representations that you have in that memory or in that feeling? And again, they are kinesthetic, auditory, and so things that you hear, things that you see, and things that you feel, right? So sometimes people have some taste and people have some smells, but mostly it's those 2. So question number 2, how do you know? Emotions, pictures. Sounds good there. Question number 3, have you ever felt like this before? So that is the golden question, right? Those are your roots. Those are your memories that we're going to work on, we're going to work through. And finally, what would you like to feel instead? As you go through these questions, write the answers down, start tapping on this and collapsing, and share with the group how things are going for you. Alrighty guys, that'll be all for today. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.